William Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the speech I absolutely did not want to make. Christopher Stalford was born in 1983, proud working-class lad in South Belfast, and he attended Wellington College, something he was immensely proud of. A political activist from a very young age, I suspect probably the pram, he was a committed Unionist and DUP through and through. In fact, he told me, if you cut me in half, it would say DUP. We were both elected at the same time in the same intake at Belfast City Council local government elections in 2005. He loved debating. He loved even more winning debates. He was a man of faith, and he was a member of Ballymacat Presbyterian Church growing up, and I know he took a great deal of store and had great influence on his life from the late Reverend Victor Ryan, who passed away only some weeks ago. Christopher lost his father at the age of 7. This clearly left a mark on young Christopher. He came from a loving family, and I paid tribute to his mother, Karen, for the way she reared her children. Christopher, Ian Crozier and I formed a strong bond and relationship at City Hall, often chewing the cud until the wee hours at City Hall. Christopher called us the Three Amigos. Appointed as High Sheriff in 2010, I was privileged to speak at his installation. And with our party phasing out double jobbing in the spring of 2013, I indicated that I was going to resign my seat and leave City Hall. Christopher came to me and asked me not to do that because he was going to be our candidate for Deputy Lord Mayor. And he asked me to propose him at the AGM. Mr. Speaker, I was privileged to do just that. Lord Stalford and I remain good friends throughout our past 2 decades. Even though we regularly were at the butt of each other's jokes and comments, even only last Monday morning in our group room, he was my sparring partner. Christopher was highly intelligent. He was extremely funny with a sharp wit, with that infectious laugh. I want to thank those political colleagues who contacted me yesterday from across the political divide and this morning. And I want to thank the SDLP for postponing their conference. Those of us on these benches deeply appreciated that gesture, and I sent a message to the Deputy Leader of the SDLP yesterday. Thank you. He loved the thrust of debate, and he was a natural performer. He was a natural parliamentarian. When he was elected to this House in 2016, he rang me the night before and said, "Can we sign in together?" The pinnacle of his career, something he was hugely proud of, was to be elected as Principal Deputy Speaker of this House. He loved his native South Belfast and its people. It was the community from whence he came, and he was immensely proud to represent it here at Stormont. He loved history, he loved reading, he loved satire, he loved classical music, and of course he loved tweed jackets. He also enjoyed the occasional wee glass of wine and whiskey, and more recently, of course, he began to enjoy his garden with his children, who he loved dearly. He was a character. He was unique. He was great crack. He wasn't always the conservative and formally dressed parliamentarian that we saw in these corridors and in this chamber. In this chamber in which he excelled so very, very well. Tory boy had a great sense of humour. I remember on a boys' trip to Tenerife, we went to a karaoke club, and he said to me, "I'm going to do a wee Frank Sinatra turn." I said, "Seriously, you?" And he got up, and he did Frank Sinatra, and he did Frank Sinatra every night that week at the karaoke club. Mr. Speaker, I spoke with Christopher at 11:30 on Friday night, and I was in touch with him again early on Saturday afternoon. Yesterday, I received the awful news that, to be honest, I'm struggling to come to terms with, as we all are. A loss from which I will never recover. I have lost a friend. He was like a wee brother to me, and we in these benches have lost a valued colleague a very valued and able colleague. And we are mindful this day of the frailty of life. Unionism has lost a great advocate, South Belfast an exceptional representative, Northern Ireland a proud and visionary son. But of course our loss is nothing to the loss of his dear family. Yesterday my colleague from Strangford, Michelle McElveen, and I visited his family. They are distraught and devastated, shocked at a life taken too soon. My deepest sympathy and heartfelt condolences to his mummy Karen, to his stepfather Eric, to Angela and Erica and Glenn, his siblings, and of course to the love of his life, his rock, Laura, and their beautiful children, Trinity, Oliver, Cameron and Abigail. A bright light has gone from this place, and our world is the poorer for Christopher's passing. Mr. Speaker, may the grace of God give the Stalford family and those privileged to be his Christopher's friends the strength and courage to face the days ahead. God bless, and goodbye, my friend.